Have you ever walked into a room and sensed something shift even before anyone spoke? You notice that some people don't just occupy space with their bodies, but with their very souls. What's even more unsettling is that, without meaning to, you might make others uneasy simply by being your authentic self. Carl Jung explained that the psyche goes beyond the physical body's boundaries, inviting us to envision something greater than mere flesh and thoughts. Within you exists an invisible energy field that moves even before you speak. This is your aura. When it aligns with your truest self, it's not just seen, it's deeply felt. However, such a powerful presence isn't always welcomed by everyone. Some are naturally drawn to it, as if discovering something missing inside themselves. Others pull away, feel uneasy, or react defensively because your light unintentionally exposes shadows they aren't ready to confront. Make no mistake, this isn't about mysticism. It's rooted in psychology, existence, and raw human experience. Jung taught that inside each of us lies the self, the central core of the psyche where ego and essence unite. When a person lives consistently with this self, when their thoughts, feelings, and actions are in harmony, their presence acts as a mirror for others, reflecting even what you see in this very video. In this exploration, we'll uncover 13 signs that your aura can be so strong it influences those around you, often without you even trying. But this isn't just about others. It's about becoming aware of the powerful energy field you carry and understanding that your uniqueness is exactly what makes you magnetic. Maybe without realizing it, you're one of those rare souls whose mere presence can shift the energy of a room or group. It's not your clothing or your voice. It's something deeper, a quiet vibration announcing, "I am here." Jung said presence is shaped by all we've experienced, everything we've integrated, and the truths we choose to embrace. That is the true essence of your aura, not a mystical shimmer, but an energetic field forged by your life story, the challenges you've endured, and your unshakable values. It's your invisible signature, your effortless influence. Some people's presence fades over time, others linger long after they leave. That's because true presence doesn't rely on outward appearance, but on an inner coherence that resonates with the world around. It's like a fragrance no one can see but everyone senses. This isn't about practice, charm, or performance. It's that subtle depth that radiates when you are whole, when your thoughts, feelings, and actions flow in unison. This alignment generates a one-of-a-kind frequency, impossible to duplicate and even harder to overlook. It arrives ahead of you, not after. Your body is just the formality. Your psyche has already stepped in, spoken, and been noticed. For those still fragmented and hiding behind masks, this can be as frightening as it is beautiful. We are more than just physical bodies and thoughts. We are presence itself. This idea is one of the most compelling in Jung's philosophy, as he saw the human psyche as a vast field far beyond what the ego can comprehend. When this field is organized around truth, it gains substance, depth, and resonance. You might not be able to perceive your own aura, but others sense it clearly. They feel it the moment you enter a room, when you speak, or even when you simply gaze. Often, this presence brings with it a feeling that can be unsettling. Something happens. Some people sense it and are drawn in, others are enchanted, some want to distance themselves, and others are compelled to come closer. Your energy isn't neutral, it's dynamic, and the more genuine you become, the more that presence sharpens and refines. You don't have to raise your voice. Your frequency communicates on your behalf. You don't need to justify yourself. Your vibration already conveys your essence. Herein lies the paradox. The more authentic you are, the more you risk being misunderstood, because we live in a world that often struggles with the unforced nature of true presence. A presence that is clear, aligned, and awake can make those still hiding behind masks uncomfortable, but it can also ignite the spark that awakens someone from their inertia. So if you ever feel out of place, if you sense that you unsettle others, if you make an impact, perhaps your aura is fulfilling its purpose, to stir change. Don't attempt to fit where your soul must shrink, and don't waste energy explaining yourself to those who only see with their eyes. You were born to make an impact. You enter a space quietly with a calm heart, not seeking attention, and yet something shifts. Voices lower, people avoid eye contact, the atmosphere thickens and feels heavier. You sense resistance around you but can't pinpoint its source. The truth is straightforward and stark. You're not doing anything overt, yet you are shifting everything. Carl Jung taught that each of us carries a shadow, the parts we had to deny or forget in order to be accepted. A presence that is pure, intense, and authentic touches others' shadows without permission. And this is not arrogance, it is genuine presence. A true presence awakens all that is hidden. You become a mirror, and honest mirrors can frighten people. Simply by existing, you confront others with aspects of themselves they'd rather keep locked away. Unfulfilled desires, buried fears, unresolved pain. Without uttering a word, you switch on the light in that dark basement. That's why suddenly someone might give you a strange look, another might avoid you, and a third might idealize you. None of these reactions are really about you, yet everything flows through you. You become a living reflection of the inner battles others carry, and the hardest part is when you start blaming yourself, thinking you're too much, or that maybe you should hide a little more. But concealing your light to avoid disturbing those dwelling in darkness is a subtle form of self-betrayal. Your presence itself is neutral. What shifts is the emotional state of the person receiving it. For those prepared, you will serve as a gateway. You will awaken bravery, awareness, and even comfort. People will feel more vibrant around you. For those not yet ready, you may become a source of irritation. You might evoke rejection, envy, or discomfort. But none of this is personal. It's psychological indeed. Jung stated that truths wield a frightening power over those still hiding behind masks. When your energy is whole, it embodies precisely this, because it can no longer be used as a weapon against others. You don't have to engage in direct confrontation to trigger change. Simply being complete disrupts the brokenness surrounding you. That's why often you feel out of sync, because your vibration shifts unseen structures. You've touched psychic layers unknowingly, not through force, but through truth. This can be exhausting, lead to isolation, and cause you to question your own value. Yet if there's one certainty on this journey, it is this. Your presence frees, and not everyone is ready for liberation. Some will avoid you as if fleeing a fire. Others will follow you as though you are the compass they never realized they needed. And all this while you simply exist. Don't lower your vibration to make what's acceptable more palatable. Acceptability doesn't create transformation, and you were born to bring transformation. There is a wisdom that words cannot teach, the wisdom that instincts understand. Animals, children, even nature seem to sense what adults often miss. They recognize your aura long before they comprehend who you truly are. No matter what you say or how much you hide, they feel it. A dog doesn't grasp your credentials. A baby doesn't care about your social rank. But all these beings respond to your vibration. They perceive what lies beyond the facade. They read in your energy field what cannot be fabricated. Carl Jung said the unconscious grasps symbols, emotions, and vibrations. When you express yourself, do so with authenticity alone. When your aura is clear and balanced, animals trust you, children gravitate toward you, and nature welcomes you. Have you noticed how some animals approach as if they've known you across lifetimes? Their eyes hold a sincerity that can be almost unsettling. That's no coincidence. It's resonance. These creatures embody the living collective unconscious. They haven't been tamed by language, nor learned to mask their feelings. They live with heightened senses, and when your energy aligns with your truth, they recognize you as genuine. A child may smile at you before they even understand why. A cat might leap into your lap without being summoned. A forest might come alive as you walk through it. This happens because you don't merely move through the world, you engage with it on an energetic level. It's as though nature itself is telling you, you belong here. That sensation, which many search for in others, is often reflected in the gaze of an animal or in the gentle rustling of leaves, because in those moments, no one demands explanations or passes judgment. You are simply experienced. But the reverse is also true. When there's internal unrest, imbalance, or unresolved conflict within you, animals pull away, children grow uneasy, and the atmosphere tightens. It's not because you're bad, but because your energy is out of sync. Everything is vibration. Everything is an unspoken exchange. The power of your aura isn't measured by how much it impresses others, but by how effortlessly it conveys truth. And in this silent communication, the most innocent beings often show the greatest wisdom. While adults spend time deciding if you are trustworthy, a child has already made that choice in seconds. Your dog has already sensed it. Life itself has already registered your presence. What these reactions teach us is simple. Your energy doesn't need to defend itself. It is already a language in its own right. If there is a place where truth is perceived without noise, it is in this instinctual realm, which is why animals and children respect it so naturally. No doubt about it, you are traveling the path of coherence, a journey where you don't have to struggle for acceptance because you are already connected to the oldest flow of all, genuine presence. People sense it even if they can't articulate it, even if they've never read a single line about energy or psychology. They feel when something in you defies explanation, yet cannot be ignored. Carl Jung said we don't achieve enlightenment by imagining beams of light, but by bringing our darkness into awareness. It is precisely this voyage, facing your own shadow, that gives depth and weight to your aura. Your aura isn't something you're born with fully formed. It's shaped and tempered by life. It is the sum of all you've endured quietly, the moments you had to begin again, the nights when everything seemed to collapse, yet you chose to carry on. It is forged by the mask you decided to shed, even knowing judgment would follow. Its energy carries scars, which is why it holds authenticity. The presence that others feel in you didn't come from a guidebook. It emerged from the chaos you learned to master inside yourself. That's why when you walk into a room, a trace of you lingers long after you leave. It's as if a part of you remains, quietly rearranging the space, stirring silent thoughts, provoking reflection. That is your field, an invisible inheritance, the vibration of someone who lives not to please, but to create. Often that impact shows up as discomfort. People pull away, project their feelings, criticize, and you, without understanding why, feel rejected for no clear reason. Yet the cause is always the same. Your truth threatens what still clings to falsehood. Your freedom unsettles those who remain bound. Your presence challenges those accustomed to pretending. And none of this is your fault. It's simply the result of your choice to no longer betray yourself. Some may label you arrogant, even if you say little. Others might call you different, as if that were a flaw. But only a few will have the courage to admit what they truly sense, that there is something in you urging them to awaken, and awakening carries its own scent. Your aura holds not only your essence, but all you have triumphed over. It's a living narrative, a silent story being read. That's why often you don't need to explain yourself. Those who feel it already understand, and explaining it to those who don't feel it is futile. You become a symbol, a reminder that living with integrity is possible, and at the same time, a challenge to those still hiding behind masks. That's the paradox of genuine energy. It confronts and embraces, heals and unsettles, liberates and frightens. But never shrink yourself to fit into spaces where your soul cannot grow. Never dilute your truth just because it makes others uneasy. Your presence, quiet though it may be, is medicine for those ready to receive it and a seismic shock for those still asleep. Ultimately, the strongest aura isn't the one that shines the brightest, but the one that reveals the deepest truths. And you reveal yourself because you dare to see yourself fully. You've come this far, and that alone speaks volumes. Throughout this video, you may have recognized several signs in yourself. Perhaps you recalled times when you entered a room and sensed the atmosphere shift without knowing why, or moments when you were judged for being too much, when all you were was authentic. Maybe now it all makes more sense. Mysticism is the sincerest expression of your inner journey. What others feel in you, whether or not they understand it, is your integrity vibrating. It's your untold story, your healed scars, your refusal to conform to the small, and your call toward the vast. You are not here to please others, you are here to awaken. As Jung reminded us, what we don't confront within ourselves, we will encounter as fate. And perhaps you are exactly that fate arriving for many, in the form of presence. A presence that reflects, that rearranges, and yes, sometimes unsettles. But don't hide because of that. The world needs whole beings now more than ever. Auras that shine even if they discomfort at first. Presences that don't just pass through, but leave a lasting impression. Thank you for staying with me up to this point. I want to share something personal with you. There was a time when I wondered why some people suddenly distanced themselves from me without any clear reason. I believed I was doing something wrong, that perhaps my intensity frightened them. Then a man who barely knew me said, "There's something in your eyes, something that reminds me of what I didn't want to face." At the moment, I didn't know how to respond, but later I realized, presence speaks, and sometimes it touches exactly where the other person doesn't want to be reached. So if you've ever experienced that, if you've faced unexpected distance, uneasy glances, or even excessive admiration, I want you to understand that maybe your aura is precisely what the world needs, even if the world hasn't yet learned how to handle it. Keep being true to yourself because your truth, even in silence, accomplishes far more than you realize. If you sense something inside you calling for change, growth, or clarity, then now is your moment. And if you choose to embark on this journey, you won't be the same person by the time you reach the end. If this video resonated with you, please hit the like button now, before your aura switches it off on its own, just to test your intuition. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. But if you decide not to, be aware that you might soon feel a twinge of regret for missing this chance. Oh, and the video's showing up on your screen. One may reveal why certain people vanish from your life unexpectedly. The other might uncover what your shadow holds to say about your relationships. But you'll only find out if you click. I'll see you in the next video. Or perhaps sooner in that invisible space between one awakened soul and another that's growing.